Hello coders, Synthetic Programming here with another video for you guys today, and today we are doing lesson 9 of our Learn Python series, Beginner to Expert. In this lesson we're going to be talking about list operations, and list operations are great. They allow us to do crazy awesome things with lists that you guys are going to absolutely love, I hope, and that we're going to be able to use in our next video to go over some more advanced functions. Functions that do crazier, cooler things. So stay tuned for that, but let's learn about lists right now. So to start off, let's talk about the length of a list. Let's make ourselves a list. We'll make two lists that we can do this to. List A is going to be a list with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And list B is going to be a list with, we'll do John, Adam, and Betsy. Wow, I'm terrible with coming up with names. Okay, so we've got A and B, two lists. So the first thing we're going to talk about is finding the length of a list. The length of a list in Python is given by the function len. And so if we do len of A, it'll give us 5 because there's 5 things in this list. And if we do length of B, like this, it will give us 3 because it is there's 3 names in this list. So that'll be 3. So that's how we do length of a list. The next thing we can talk about is adding lists. So adding lists in Python is pretty cool. Lists can just be added onto each other just like numbers can be added together. So if we do print A plus B like this, and we put these in parentheses like this. Okay, so right now we're going to do A plus B like this. And when I run this, do you see how there's actually just one list now? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, John, Adam, Betsy, but they're all in the same list. So when you add two lists together like this with A plus B, or just the name of the list plus the name of another list, it'll just take the two lists and just stick them onto each other like glue. Awesome. So we'll get rid of this, the print statement. We'll just leave the A and the B like this. Okay, so we got A plus B. So let's talk about the nth item in a list. How do we get something out of a list? If we have a list like A or B with John, Adam, and Betsy, let's talk about how to grab one of those items. So say that we want to take out the number 1 of list A. The number 1 in list A is given by the index 0. And this works like this. If you do the name of a list and then these 2 square brackets right after it, and then put a number in here, so like 0, that will give you the item at the index 0 in list A. And what that means is the index at 0 is the first thing in the list, so 1. If we change this to 1, then it'll be the second thing in the list, 2. And that goes on. So the last thing in the list, if it's 5 long, if the list has 5 things in it, then the last thing will actually be index 4. So the fourth thing in A is 5 because it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so the index 4 goes to 5. So this value right here is actually equal to 5, which I think is pretty cool. The other thing you can do is you can use negative numbers. So if I do -1, -1 will give me the last thing in the list. It'll give me 5. -2 will give me the second to last thing in the list, which is 4. So you can go backwards through the list as well. And we can do the same thing with list B. So in list B, if you wanted to get Adam, you would put B1. If you wanted John, you'd do B0. If you wanted Betsy, you'd do B2. So that is a cool thing that lists in Python allow you to do. You can grab the item at index n and just stick it in there. And that'll give you that item. So how do we add an item to a list? Right now we are going to print the list B. We'll print all the names. And so if we do that, we see John, Adam, and Betsy, just like we had above. Now let's do b.append like this, and then put another name in here. Let's put Sally. Okay, so now we're doing b.append Sally, and we're going to print it again. We'll print B. So now when I run this, you'll see that at first it prints John, Adam, and Betsy, but then it adds Sally to the list. And so now it's John, Adam, Betsy, and Sally. So append is how we add something, and it always adds to the end. When you append something to a list, you append to the end. So if you do b.append, you can append a name. You could also append a number like this. If we do this, you'll see now there's just a 1 at the end of the list. You can also do like false like this, and so now it says John, Adam, Betsy, false. Cool things like that. So you can append anything to a list. We can also just switch the name of the list to A, and then we can append 6. And so now we see that it was, we'll print A, and we'll print A. And so now when we run this, you'll see that first it prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we append 6, we add 6 to it, and then it prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome. So let's get rid of these print statements. And so there you see A.append 6. Very cool. So now, how do we remove an item from the list? Now that we've added A, if we've added 6 to A, when we print A, it should still have 6 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do we remove that 6 from the list? The way we can do it is like this. If we do A.remove, and we remove 6, and then print A again, we'll see that the first thing that happens is it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we removed it, so now it doesn't. And so it's A.remove to remove an item from a list. And remember, you don't have to just put 6 here. You could also put A5, the sixth thing in A, remember, because it starts at 0. So this would be 6. So if we do this, that should work too. And you'll see it does. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we remove 6, which is the same thing as A5, and then now we don't have a 6 in there any longer. So we'll get rid of this, and I will set this equal to 6 again, so that you can remember that A.remove is how we remove something from a list. The next thing we can do with a list is we can pop from a list, and you'll see what this does right here. So if we take A, we'll print A.pop, and what this does is it pops the item off the list. So if we print this, if we do this, it says 5 because it pops the item off the end of the list. The last item in the list is 5, and it pops that off. Now if I write it again though, if I print A.pop a second time, you'll see that it's not 5 anymore, it's 4. Because after it pops something from the list, after it pops the last thing off the list, it actually removes it as well. So A.pop removes 5 from the list and prints it, because we said print, but it'll just return it. So A.pop will return the last thing on the list and then remove it from the list. And you can do that as many times as you want, like this, print A.pop. And if I run this now, you'll see 5, 4, 3, like that. So you're popping all the things off the list, which I think is very cool. And what you can also do is this. If you remember in the last tutorial, actually 2 tutorials ago, we went over for loops. And if you do for item, or sorry, we'll say for I in range from 0 to the length of list A. And remember, len of list A is the length of list A. Pop A.pop, like this. So what this is going to do is, for I in range 0 to length A, so this many times, it's just going to pop A. And if we print this, you'll see, we have to print so you can see it, like this. And so when I run this, you'll see it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because we're popping everything off the list. We're going through the list one at a time and popping. Awesome. So that is basic list operations for Python. These are things you can do to list, ways that you can add to lists and take away from lists, and they're really helpful. We're going to be using a lot of lists in future functions. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching episode 9 of our Learn Python series. You can click here to go straight to episode 10, where we're going to be writing some advanced functions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you've made it this far in the series, kudos to you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.